Hello and welcome again to our YouTube channel. In today's video from the Photoshop series, we are going to see how to create quickly an illustration or a storytelling timeline that will represent some ideas. The most important things are that we select first the elements of our story or our timeline. So we are going to, today to speak about our hero, one of the simple ways, who is steer wheeling his ship in the sea life following the guidance of his soul. So what are the elements of this illustration or this timeline that we shall create? It is our hero, the boat, the steering wheel, the sea, and the soul. So let us see how we can generate these items quickly. We will start with one of the items. Let me start with the sea. So we will select a square or rectangle area from our illustrations. Usually we will generate on different layers. So I will create another layer. So we can edit after that and group them up later. So, and this selection I'm going to fill with a color. For example, for the sea, we can select a color for the sea. We can select this one, for example, or darker one. Okay, and we will select the paint bucket filling tool. We will fill our area. Next, we will select a brush that we need to make some strokes that will be converted to waves after that. We had selected this one. If you click on this icon, it will open your brushes. We had selected this brush. You will find that's one of the standard brushes. But what happened is that we increase the spacing between the brushes, so it makes like separated strokes like these ones. Okay, and we choose a suitable stroke, and then we make our foreground as white, and we start drawing straight lines. We can minimize this panel. These lines will be converted to the white parts of our waves after that. It needs to be random, a little bit random. Okay. Next step, this same selection, we shall expand it. So Control T, and we will expand its width to 150%. Enter. After that, we will convert it into Smart Filter. And we will add to it some waves filter. Okay, we will use, for example, 10 generators. Wavelengths we will select between, let's say, 50 and 150. And we will select the height between 10 and 100. All this is the settings of our waves. After that, we are going to select it as a triangle wave, and we press OK. After that, we select our layer V, and then we expand it. Enter. Now we have got a great sea waves. That's one of the elements of our story. The next element is the boat. So first I need to trim to the size. So I will go to image, and then I will select trim, left and right based on the color. Okay, I need to rasterize the layer first. So I'll select it again and L, rasterize the layer. Okay, and then I will trim it after that. Okay, now it's fitting to our image and we had perfect waves. Next step that we need to create our boat. So we will create an oval. We had selected here without stroke, and the filling is white. I'll bring it here, for example. Next step, I'll use a pen to draw the body of the boat. Okay, we will draw the body of the boat on a separate layer, so we don't mix the layers. I will draw it regardless of its colors and borders now, because then we will give it a wooden style directly. I will draw it starting from the edges of my ellipse. Then we shall close it. Consider drawings are rough. It should not be as perfect. Okay, and then you go to styles. You'll find it under FX here. If you don't find it, you simply go to Windows, Styles. It will open it for you. Under styles, you'll find the second selection is natural, and you have these roots. We'll select this one for support. Then we return again to our layers panel using F7, and we shall bring the ellipse on top of it. You can see that we had got some nice pot. We can select the ellipse if it's coming a little bit outside, or the pot. We can bring them concurrent together. Okay, now it's not bad as a pot. We shall add another layer of the waves, and we'll put them in between. So I had duplicated the waves. I'll bring it down. Okay, then I need to bring this wave on the top. Now I have my pot in the middle of the waves. So next important thing is the wheel of the boat, which gives the boat its meaning or its guidance. We are going to start creating it on a separate layer. Control Shift N. We shall make a new layer. We'll start also with an ellipse. To make it perfectly circle, I will start dragging. Then I will hold Shift and Alt. Now it's perfect circle. The size is not important. After that, we will group all together and size it. And then I let the click first and then the Shift and Enter. I'll give it also some style. I'll use this one. Bring it a little bit down. I need to duplicate it, so Control G. Now I'm having two circles. One will be the outer ring of the ship wheel, and the other one will be the inner ring of the ship wheel. So this one, to make it the outer ring of the ship wheel, I'll be using now the elliptic selection. I'll make my selection here. Also, I need to make Shift Alt to make it perfectly round. Then to move it, I will go to Select, Transform Selection. I will drag it near the middle. If I need it to be exactly in the middle, I will go to Layers again. I will select my ellipse, which is this one. Okay, V, and then after I click V, I have my centering option. So I will center it vertical and horizontal to make sure that the shape is centered with the selection. You can see from here it's selection here. From these three dots, it's on the selection, so it's centered with the selection. Then I'm going to rasterize this layer. So Z layer. Then I will hit delete. Now you got the external wheel or the external circle of the ship wheel. Now I'm going to select. After that, I need to make another one for this. Anywhere here. By the way, if you are selecting here the fixed ratio while you are making the elliptical selection, it will come perfectly around by its own by selecting the width and the height 1:1. That's the ratio between them. I'll do the same again. I'll stop in this layer. We can name the layers. So this one will be the inner race, and this one, so we know them, will be the outer race. Then I need to center it also. So I'll click on the inner race, select the inner race, which is the one I'm on now. Click V. I will have the alignment. I'll select vertical and horizontal alignment. Now it's perfectly selected. I'm going to rasterize the layer. So Alt L, Z L. Then I'm going to hit, sorry, we made a mistake now, Control Z. I need to invert the selection. So I need to delete the external part of it. So Control Shift I. Now I selected the outside part. Delete. Now I have only the inner race. Control D. Now I have the inner race as perfect. There's a remaining one item in the inner race. We can make it. Now I'll make another selection inside the inner race. Okay, I'll do it again. That V. Then I'll center it. Okay, and out of this selection I need to make a new layer, and this new layer I will give it directly effect bevel. Okay, then I'm making the hub of the inner race. Okay, then I'll select this one. I will call it the hub so I know it. I'll select the inner race. I'm using Control plus click to select, and the outer race. Now they are all selected. I'm going to center them together. Okay, after centering them, I put them in one group using Control G. Now I'm having my group as an element. I will call this group the wheel. Then I'm going to duplicate this group. Okay, and the new group wheel, which is, I will go to merge the group. So now it is one item completely and merged. I'm having this wheel group. I will dim it. I will be using if I need to make some modifications in furthermore. Then I will be adding some styling, adding some bevel to it. Okay, now you can see its roundness. It's coming. Its roundness. You can increase the opacity here if you like to increase its darkness. And you can increase the depth. Okay, now you decrease the lighting opacity. It depends on the color you like. So if we hit OK now I'm having the inner and outer race and the hub. Now I'm going to add the vertical columns. I'll use the rectangular tool. I will select this rectangular tool together with the wheel, and I will center them. Then I will add some effect to them. Okay, and I will bring it behind the wheel. Okay, after that I need to repeat it. And see that our bevel from here is a little bit changed, so I'm going to repeat it again. Okay, then for this rectangle I'm going to duplicate it. Okay, Control T to tilt it. First I will tilt it 90 degrees. Enter. Then I'm going to duplicate it again. And the new layer, Control T, I'm going to tilt it 45 degrees. Okay. Then I'm going to repeat it once more. Then Control T, and I'm going to tilt it 90 degrees. Enter. Now I have a complete driving wheel. After that, I will select all these bars. Using Shift, and I will click the last one, and Control G. They will be in one group. And if you like, you can mix the group after that, and then or we can use it to resize it. So we can go, and I will duplicate the group first. and I will hide the original one, and this duplicate of the group I will merge it. I'm having my wheel complete. These together, these two layers, I'm going to merge these two layers. Now I have one image for my wheel. Now to put this wheel on the boat, I need to tilt it a little bit to appear that it's coming using a side. So I will use Control Alt, and I will drag it from here. I will drag it from the middle, so you can see I'm tilting it. Then Enter V, and I need to bring it on top of the boat. I will bring it here. If I need to tilt it more, Control Alt, and I'm going to tilt it here. Then Enter, remaining our hero. So now the hero, I'm going to draw it using the lines, the line tool. The stroke, I prefer this color for the stroke for our hero and without any filling. And the weight of the line is 12 pixels. Usually, if you see anyone standing on a boat, so his waist will be here. Legs will be coming till the end of the boat. He's standing here. He's having one hand here and the other hand here. And his head, I will use an ellipse to create his head. V, I'll shift it a little bit up. Okay, now I had created the boat, the driving wheel, and our hero. If you like to put a stand after the driving wheel, if you think this is more realistic, then you can add one. It's not a big deal. Now I will add the soul that will be driving us. So the soul will be standing on the on the front of the boat. So I'm going to add a little bit board here. So the boat will be the soul will be standing on it. Then Control Enter, and I'm going to tilt it a little bit. Okay, so it's more realistic like this one. After that, can add another rectangle on the bottom here. Now we had placed it in a nice way. If you like, you can fill our hero one of the simple ways. You can put it completely in a group. Okay, now the remaining our soul that will be guiding, I'll using the text. I'll put it here. That's our soul. I'll give it a greenish color. Okay, and then I'm going to give it the 3D effect. I'll put it here. After that, I'll use line road. I'll use the same color I used for the soul, and I'll use one of the shapes. Okay, now our hero is on the boat, driving his wheel and following the direction of the soul, which is we had made it on a 3D. Of course, these illustrations you can make driving to 8. We will add in the coming video how to move it across the line or to resize it and so on. I think you had learned a wealth of information. It will be around 20-minute video that through which you had created a complete illustration. You learned how to make the ship wheel. You learned how to make a boat quickly, the solo in a 3D, pointing the sea with double waves and the boat in the middle. You can add a lot of elements after that to your illustrations. Join our channel, activate the bell, wait for us in coming videos. You can see details of this illustration on our blog. You'll find the link on the top here, and you will find it also in the description box. Thank you for following so far. See you in the coming videos.